15, 20 years ago in this city, there were a lot of people doing indie comics and self-publishing their zines, like dozens, if not hundreds of people coming in every week with their comics or magazines or books. And now there's maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And Dan is one of them.
So Dan, why don't you tell me your name and a little bit about yourself?
My name's Dan, and it's a very low chair. Well, do you want like the big picture? I'm Dan, I'm a cartoonist.
There you go.
I'm Dan, I'm a cartoonist. I'm working on my first by itself work of fiction, Chiaroscuro, and I used that as the name of the comic because it's these characters that literally are black and white, and it's going to be a fantasy adventure. I'm going to go fantasy adventure because what I wanted to do was, after so many years of doing autobiographical and not really doing any practice in storytelling, I wanted to take like the big concepts of literature, like I wanted to use like good versus evil, and like, you know, a man versus nature, and like a person versus what they've been raised to believe, and like I just wanted to wield those big clunky everyone's used them story elements. So I built up the big clunky like talk about the big deals story, and I'm really just trying to have fun with it. Here I want to emphasize that he's staring up towards like the brighter half of the setting, so that I'm going to make the background particularly dark. I either created it or dug it up from notes for a college project, which was 4 pages long. That was the zine class that Gareth taught.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's stuck with it. He's got ideas. He's kind of he's working in a bookstore, so there's no lack of inspiration there.
For sure. Yeah.
Know Dan through work, and I've known him since I started working there, which was like 2-something years ago.
What do you think of Dan's work?
I've been purposefully not reading his Chiaroscuro book because I want to see when it's done.
Yeah.
It's too easy to judge it before it's done. I have high hopes for Chiaroscuro from what I've seen, because I haven't read the whole thing yet, but it's looking that he may have found a style for that that'll work. So he's got his chops, and they work really well in the places that they're designed for, but I haven't seen a ton of deviation into the other genres. Like, he has a passion for so many genres. I just don't think that his art can necessarily keep up with them all yet.
Normally I'll work with the fine points, with like the day-to-day things and like the little jokes, but I just want to go like, you know, saving the world, and just swinging it around. Yeah. And I'm going to be selling it at Stumptown. Stumptown is the Portland, Oregon comic book convention. I am currently affiliated with the Dorkchop Comic Book syndication. It's just me and everyone that I know who does comics got together, decided we'll have one single banner, we'll throw the logo around. This trip to Portland is also our first test of that. One question that's been on my mind, I'm going to ask as many successful cartoonists as I can get my hands on, and that is, how do you balance making entertainment with being entertained? And like right down the line, they were like, I draw comics, so if I want to relax, I watch a horror movie or read a novel. I don't read comics. Next person, same thing.
Yeah.
And it was really eye-opening, and at the same time really depressing, because I read a lot of comics, and they're basically saying, like, you can be a fan or you can be a contributor, but there's very few people that are both.
have one and stick to it.
It's better to have a bad comic than to not have a comic at all.
There you go.
Just draw comics because you love drawing comics. Don't draw comics because you want to make money drawing comics, because that comes much later.
It was a lot closer to the worst case scenario than the best case scenario. Like, it was a lot closer.
Yeah.
It was very close.
Not soul destroying, but not
it was
not empowering.
As close as it can get to soul destroying without being soul destroying.
So, a success or a failure?
It was a success as an eye-opening experience. It was a failure as a financial venture. Right. Like anyone who wasn't in comic books, if I describe this scenario to them, they're like, "Oh, so you're out $300, you idiot." It makes me wonder once again if I just have like the psychological fortitude to like push myself into a professional career.
I suppose we'll find out.
Yeah. Only time will tell, as they say. It was that kind of like